What is up, everybody? Welcome to Sixers Postgame Live. The Sixers get the W here against the Detroit Pistons, move on to 45-35 with just a few games remaining. It was a close game. The Pistons were shooting the lights out up until the fourth quarter when the Sixers ball movement, Joel Embiid, and more really took this game over. We're breaking down top takeaways, reaction grades, and more. Joining me, he is Sean Bernard. Give him a follow. What's up, Sean?
Yeah, I'm in better spirits than I thought about midway through this one. That we had a little Joel Embiid scare. We had the team looking sloppy for most of this, but a win is a win. They found a way. They got the job done. I do think there are some positive takeaways overall. So glad I'm not pounding the table frustrated. We can breathe easy.
Yeah, Embiid. We'll get to Embiid in a second. Also joining us, he is Mitch Kofsky. What's good, Mitch?
Ricky Calder Jr. played in the first quarter. I was shocked. I was so happy that he was playing, and he nailed a buzzer beater from the corner. Good showing from Ricky Council. About time. Yeah,
good to see Ricky get some burn as we have been pounding the table for. Guys, if you're watching us live, please be sure to comment. 6 in a row, says Chris. Embiid and Paul Reed on the floor together seems to be working. Buddy Hield goes off. Finally for 5-9. We're going to talk about Buddy Hield. That was a big storyline here. Good to see the redemption of Buddy Hield in this one. Oubre not efficient but impactful in big moments. Dude, I'm all in on Kelly Oubre winning out. Good to see from the Philadelphia 76ers. Man, Sean, like this season has been just an up and down roller coaster of a season. At first, they looked amazing. Embiid and Maxey are flying, and they cannot be beaten. And then straight to depression.
Yeah.
And now we're back. Now we're back to the joy. We're back to the excitement, the depth. D'Anthony Melton made his return today. What's your quick reaction of this win?
I think like we're seeing the game plan for getting Joel Embiid back up to speed. Played the most minutes that he has so far since coming back. Clocked 35 minutes, 49 seconds, and really did not need to. That I think this was a conscious effort of leaving him out there a little more to build up the game speed. And Joel certainly was not at 100% intensity for all those minutes, nor should he have been, because he gave me quite a heart attack when that knee looked like it had a little buckle or something to it when he struggled for that one. So glad that the brace seemed to do its job there, and hopefully we don't have any news otherwise following the game. But overall, I thought this was a solid performance. It did look for a portion that they were going to do that trap game thing where they let a bad team linger around and then ultimately come for it at the end. But there was a nice spark at the end of that third quarter from a lot of the bench guys. I thought they got some good minutes from even guys like Jeff Doughton, Ricky Council the fourth. There was a lot of guys that stepped up that I was impressed with. It was good to see D'Anthony Melton back as well. I think that's an underlying storyline. Hopefully the back is all good because that is a guy that will make a difference come playoff time.
Yeah, not a big game from D'Anthony Melton. 5 points in 15 minutes. But I love the way he moves off the ball. Like that, I think he's a really good fit with this team for various reasons. Mitch, quick reaction before we get into Joel Embiid.
Tobias Harris had a double-double in the first half, then ghost in the second. That was pretty much it.
That's the only reason why you start Tobias Harris. Because he's a guy that'll give you 15 points in the first half and then 0 in the second.
Yeah, I'll take a good half. That's progress right there. We should put that in the positive category.
That's progress.
One good half better than 2 bad ones for most of the time.
Anthony chimes in. Hey guys, Tobias Harris only plays good against easy teams. He is trash, and he was possibly trying out for his future NBA squad tonight as well. Big test in Orlando coming up next. At the end of this show, we're gonna update everyone with the seeding. Right now, it looks like that Friday matchup against Orlando and Orlando's 2 big games against the Bucks are going to be crucial here because the Pacers did win tonight. So not what you want to see. I believe the Pacers need to lose back-to-back games in the final 2, right? Yeah.
And those are more likely games for them to lose than tonight. It was the Raptors tonight. It is Cavs and Hawks to close out. Not saying go rush and throw your wagers on for them to lose that one because the Hawks pretty much have nothing to play for either. But I will say, if you're taking any of these teams, Toronto's by far the most winnable of those 3.
Yeah, for sure. Barry says Embiid shows off his handles. The guy keeps on improving his skills just when you think he's hit a ceiling. He shows me something new. Yeah, Toby barely played in the second half. That was a really interesting observation. I agree, Barry. Smash the like button wherever you're watching. We appreciate it. And Tobias next year is signing his next big contract at McDonald's. All right, let's get into Joel Embiid tonight. Who had some turnover concerns. The falling on the floor had me having a heart attack. But overall, Embiid a plus 17 in 35 minutes, the most he has played since his return. He did shoot 9 attempts from 3, 11 boards, but my God, the 8 assists is the take. He had 8 assists in this one. Him finding Kelly Oubre, getting downhill, cutting to the basket. There's another one to Nick Batum on the sideline. I thought Embiid's passing, he put on a clinic, man. Like you could start to see the confidence building, like outside of the box score. What I love to see from Embiid, he didn't look as like completely exhausted in the fourth quarter as we saw in previous games recently, and just his feel of the offense. That's my take. Sean, what was your take?
You said 9 3-point attempts for Joel?
Yeah, 9.
That is a career high for the
Get out of here.
fella. Yeah, so yeah. His previous career high is 8, which happened back in 2022 against the Heat. So yeah, career high for Joel Embiid. I like that. And they were not even just kind of like the pick and pop shots. Like there were a couple off-ball movement, a corner 3, stuff like that, which we don't see a lot from him. So I like a little innovation. He should shoot more 3-pointers on the real. That he's good enough to. That's an efficient shot for a guy that consistently knocks him down at least 36%, and that makes the defense think. That starts to stretch the floor. So I like to see that tonight. And yeah, I like that corner 3 especially. A little off-ball design there.
Yeah. What about you, Mitch?
It still was like a little too many minutes he's played for my liking. My perfect game for Joel, have him get like 30 points in 3 quarters and then have him rest down in the fourth. But it is what it is. He still got the job done against the Pistons. Needed him to stop falling. That's still a major concern. It's been in mind for his whole career. But yeah, good job, Joel.
Yeah, it was a really good, really solid Joel game. Man, it's just got to get Maxey and Embiid healthy on the floor. That's really the bottom line. What else? I thought he was amazing in the second quarter. Just this team is just making me believe, Sean, and they're making me believe based on the pieces that they have. When this team is playing well and the ball movement, as we saw in this one, is as good as it is, they're a tough team to beat, man. The Sixers, and Joel Embiid was a big part of this. They had 29 assists to 7 turnovers tonight. I know it's the Pistons, but this is their 6th straight win. The ball movement was awesome, divine. This is what you want to see to finish out a season, right?
Mm-hmm. Absolutely. And like we kind of talked about this a lot during the dark days without Joel Embiid here, but everyone on this team is built to play next to Joel. And we're seeing that now that he's here, how much more sense it makes. The Kelly Oubres, the Nico Batums, all these guys just fit together. You see the pieces of the puzzle around the big fella. And I thought tonight was another example. Even Buddy Hield showing some life, hitting 5 3-pointers tonight. So we are seeing, like, if everybody plays their best, this is a ridiculously deep team. Like Buddy Hield more or less is going to be some icing on the cake based on the expectations. Same with D'Anthony Melton. This is a guy that like hasn't played in months, and if they can get him for a playoff stretch, he's a real deal, like high caliber player that will log some minutes. So I'm absolutely believing they got the job done tonight without Tyrese Maxey, without Kyle Lowry. I feel pretty good, and as much as like I didn't love Joel playing as much as he did, I do think it's very intentional that this is the ramp up period. This is putting more minutes on him. And the knee thing's the only thing that gives me pause. But overall, I'm believing as well that I do see all the bones on this team.
Yeah. Like the pieces with Embiid on the court is what gets you so excited.
Yep.
And speaking of that, we got to talk about Buddy Hield. Mitch, I'll lead off with you because Buddy Hield had his biggest game in a while. I thought his ability to hit from the corners was excellent tonight. Let me put up the shot chart. Buddy Hield had 18 points, 5 of 9 from 3-point range. Good to see his confidence come back. He's been kind of getting buried a little bit, Sean, right? Like You kind of see the vibes between Nick Nurse and Buddy Hield just at a very low level. And it's been hard to watch because as Buddy Hield, as we all know, like this is a guy that we really need come playoff time to be a guy that can come in and put up like 15, 20 points in a quarter and a half and be a microwave scorer off screens. Mitch, any thoughts on Buddy Hield tonight?
So in the beginning of the game, he started off kind of slow. I tweeted that Buddy Hield should get benched. And then right after that tweet, he makes a three. He makes another. So I'll take it. But he's playing for a contract too. So that's the biggest thing for me. Is he going to be back again next year? So we need him to ramp this up, especially in the playoffs, to help Joel Embiid, to help the Sixers out. You got to look going forward as well. So he's playing for a contract.
Yeah, I think my expectations have decreased for Buddy Hield, and I've been a very pro Buddy Hield guy. Still going to stay on that island. I've planted my flag because I do still see it in theory. What I've been disappointed the most in is like we're really seeing none of the two-man action with Joel, and we talked all about like when he first got here that's how he would be judged, that it wouldn't be without Joel Embiid. It's what can he maximize next to him. He's kind of reduced to a guy that's going to be catch and shoot. Can he knock down open three-pointers? And as far as the Nick Nurse side of things, we know that Nick Nurse is more of a defensive-minded type of coach, and Buddy Hield does not shine on that end of the floor by any means. And he is a guy that, like, when the shots are going, you need him, but when they're not, what does he really do for you? And especially now that there are all these ball handlers, that when he first got here, without Kyle Lowry, without all these guys, after the Pat Bev trade, Buddy Hield kind of became like a guy needed to handle the ball by default. That's no longer the case, and we're seeing these other guys step up. So I'm disappointed in kind of what his role is being reduced to, but maybe tonight is something that they can build off. They got to find a way to get him involved with Joel, but he's really not just creating separation off pin downs or those type of actions.
Yeah, I expected him to be kind of that JJ Redick off screen kind of dude, and he really hasn't been.
I missed the playmaking.
I think we've seen like the increase in playmaking role for Kelly Oubre over the last several weeks. Not so much the grab. I mean, there was times in this game where we even saw the defense like show zero respect to Buddy Hield and give him that space. That's not what we need, man. We need Buddy Hield out there with gravity on offense and giving Joel Embiid space down low. Barry says Embiid didn't have just 8 assists. He looked like Curly Neal from the Harlem Globetrotters. What is that? Angry Anthony says Jeff Dalton is the next superstar. He's an up and down player. I'm excited for Jeff Dalton. I hope he plays in the summer league. I don't know how old he is.
Guess, because I was surprised by this.
From based on what you said, because I know zero about Jeff Dalton, I'll say 24.
27.
I was gonna get 28. I was gonna get 28.
Oh my God! All right, I take it back.
Yeah, I had a similar reaction when I was like, "Oh, this could be a nice guy that grows into a nice player." And I was like, "Well, he is who he is at this point." Like 27 is
like when he's going downhill and attacking. Like there are flashes that he looks nice, but then like there are times when he's not and throwing the ball out of bounds. And that's what it is. Barry says Embiid needs to get into playing shape. Toby had 15. Toby is a first half kind of player. Jeff Dalton, the third superstar alongside Maxey and Embiid. Buddy
did have a nice deal.
Got the yips. Buddy had a great game today, Todd. Buddy had a really good game in this one. Oh man, I can't even, Steven, I don't even know where the Phillies game, what channel the Phillies game is on right now. So let me know when you know, because I was looking for it and the Flyers are the only game I got and they're getting smoked. Todd says Buddy has ability but looks lost at times. All right, let's get into D'Anthony Melton's return because that's a big storyline. As I tweeted out, like he's one of the better ball handlers in the pick and roll for the Philadelphia 76ers. A strong catch and shoot threat. We missed him, man. Sean, just a quick impression of his first game back, 15 minutes. He didn't shoot well. There was times when he was giving me like game 6 vibes against the Celtics and just trucking in the fourth quarter and bricking, but Good to see him move off ball. Good to see him involved. Any thoughts?
Yeah, I thought he looked like himself for the most part. And real quick check in on the Heat Hawks here. As Jimmy Butler is going to the free throw line for 2 free throws. Heat are up 1 with 27 seconds left, so Hawks should have a shot to tie here. But as far as D'Anthony Melton goes, he looked like himself. I thought he moved well. I didn't see anything that lit up or made my eyes concerned. But to the same point, it's much more about how he responds, how his body is after tonight. Because we do remember him coming back after a long period with this back injury. And then he played just 3 games and all of a sudden was injured again. So that's what they cannot have happen. But for D'Anthony, he is a guy that will be heavily in this rotation. And beyond just the shooting, which he's turned himself into a very good shooter, very quick shooter, he's a guy who's one of the better point of attack defenders on this team. And I think flourishes in the Nick Nurse system with the switching, with everything that they do. And the Atlanta Hawks did just tie this game with 16.5 left on the clock. So maybe that would give the Sixers a little bit of breathing room. But overall, Melton, I thought looked solid. Hopefully he's good and can continue building off this.
Yeah, Melton had 2 steals in 15 minutes tonight. And that's really what he brings too. Like Melton brings the deflections. He brings the steals. When this guy was on the court with the Sixers, man, the Sixers were right up among the league best when it comes to steals and deflections. So this is a guy who generates turnovers and a guy that I think is going to be huge come playoff time. Mitch, any thoughts?
People wanted him gone before the trade deadline. They wanted him gone. They wanted, another pick or something. But he brings so much value to this team not a lot of people see, especially with the perimeter defense. He's one of the best we got, him and Covington is still out. So with him there, perimeter defense is so much better.
Paul Reed has been sucking lately. I fully disagree.
I disagree with that.
Yeah, I mean, Paul Reed had 8 points in 13 minutes tonight, was efficient with the basketball, 6 boards, 4 offensive rebounds.
He was terrific against Wemby, by the way. I thought he was awesome guarding him, which is a brutal matchup. And we are seeing a little bit of the Joel Embiid, B-Ball Paul split lineups here. That kind of a lob, what ended up as a lob, didn't mean to be from Joel today, but I do like seeing them on the floor together, and we've been waiting on that for quite some time.
Yeah. Wheeler going in the 7th inning. Wow. We will have Phillies and Flyers post-game shows going down tonight as well. B-Ball Paul has been great. What games have you been watching? I put up his stats, like his offensive rebounding percentages and net rating and plus minus is the best on the team over the last 10 games. So love Paul Reed off the bench. That is his best role moving forward. All right. Any other thoughts before we get into play of the game?
We got overtime in Miami and Atlanta right now.
Shit. All right. All right.
I just have one question. So when I was doing a watch or play-by-play of this game, someone asked me, what grade would you give Nick Nurse on the season? And I was like, B-, C+ range, because he didn't have all of his players throughout the entire season. So I'm like, are you guys in that same ballpark as me?
I'm back on the upswing. That I was pretty high on him at the start of the season. I was a little disappointed in his ability to kind of keep this team afloat and scheme up some ways for them to win more games without Joel. But now I'm kind of back on board the Nick Nurse train. That San Antonio game specifically, that's one that's sticks in my brain. That was a masterclass of the ATOs, the substitutions he made. He just, against Greg Popovich, went toe-to-toe and found a way to get the win. And that play he drew up to create the Maxey, that lane to tie the game, and then to free Kelly Oubre up for that 3-pointer. Those were both moments to me where I was like, that is a guy that's going to give us an advantage come playoff time. So I would say jury's still out depending on how the playoffs go, but I'm back on the upswing. So I might even pop up to a B+ at this point.
Yeah, most of my complaints have revolved around Tobias Harris and Ricky Council. That's been the bulk of my frustrations. It doesn't make sense, but we saw it today. It's going to be interesting to see what Nick Nurse does with Tobias Harris's minutes, especially come crunch time during those clutch situations. I'm fine with him starting as long as Nick Nurse goes with the hot hand come fourth quarter. I think that is a reasonable expectation. When it comes to Embiid and Maxey, I mean, the proof is in the pudding. I mean, these two have been lights out when on the court together. I think they're now like 28-7 or something crazy. And they're scoring an unbelievable points per possession, like 111 out of 100 possessions, which is like among the tops in the NBA. So with this team healthy, I mean, Nick Nurse has been terrific.
Yes.
That's the take.
By the way, Sixers have until Sunday to upgrade Ricky Council to a standard NBA deal, or else he will be ineligible for the playoffs. And at this point, like, you have to do it. You just have to do it. It's
Why not?
It's more that, like, they genuinely, it's not even one of those like lock him up because this is going to be a value deal. Like, they're going to need him for stretch of the playoffs. He's now like a reliable bench player for this team. I don't understand what the holdup is whatsoever.
I don't get it. And like against teams like Milwaukee and the Celtics, who have, wing depth, like you need guys like Ricky Council that can throw their body around and
He's a
push
good player.
I don't understand it. I hate talking about it because it just gets me upset. Barry says I would give Nick Nurse a B+, given that he was playing G League players the majority of the season. His in-game adjustments have been great. JT Real Muto just got hit in the throat. What?
Yeah, he left. I just saw a tweet. He left the game 7th inning. Stubbs coming in, and apparently it didn't look very good. JT, a workhorse too, a guy that does not come out of games like at all.
Wasn't it Achilles injury for Giannis?
That's what people are speculating. Doc's saying that they're undergoing MRIs. It was announced as a calf strain via Shams and Woj. So we'll see what this all comes out to be. It was complete non-contact that he was just jogging up the court.
Okay. And yeah, Rocco coming back soon too, man. That's an underrated wing to count on come playoff time too.
Jason Tatum stopper.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And from all accounts, he's coming back, correct? Like, so
Kate made a comment tonight on the broadcast saying that he should be back within the next couple of days or soon or something along those lines was something that she said. And that's really the only update I've heard on him in quite some time.
Need him. All right, let's get into our Sixers player of the game. Player of the game. Let's get at it. Sean, who's your player of the game?
I'm taking the layup. I'm giving it to Joel. I'll take the 37, 11, and 8. 3 steals, 2 blocks for the big fella. 9 out of 10 of the line. Career high in 3-point attempts. Give me Joel Embiid. That I'm happy to see him continuing to ramp up. I hope that we don't get any update as far as that knee is sore or anything as of tomorrow. But felt good about tonight. This is another step in the right direction, and it's just another reminder of how valuable this guy is. Again, the most valuable player in the league, and how much everything just makes sense right around him. So give me Joel.
Joel Embiid for Sean. Mitch, where are you going?
I'll take Buddy Hield here,
Nice.
actually. Just Buddy Hield, 18 points, 5 for 9 for 3, hitting the threes in big time moments, something we haven't seen in like 3 weeks to a month or maybe 2 months. I'll take it. Give me Buddy Hield.
Man, I hate going last, especially.
You do this to yourself.
I know. Player of the game, Jeff Dalton Jr.
Ricky Council for playing in the first quarter.
Nick should give it to Nick Nurse. Yeah, give me Paul Reed. I'll go Paul.
Okay.
Again, 13 minutes. He was a +3, 8 points, 6 boards, 4 on the offensive side, and he did have a steal, 0 turnovers. Paul Reed's been a low-key excellent role player for the Sixers, playing within himself a little bit. Oubre. We didn't even talk about Oubre today.
Yeah.
Should we talk about Oubre?
Might as well. He had 3 blocks.
Kelly Oubre had 3 blocks, 17 points. He did have a +8 in this one, 6 of 16. Not the most efficient night for Kelly Oubre, but he did get to the line. There were a couple of times when him and Embiid looked terrific together on the court, especially in the first half. Any quick thoughts on Oubre?
I do like specifically remember him having an assist to Embiid too. I know it's not in the stat sheet that it's saying he has 0 assists. I remember specifically him passing the one to Embiid right below the rim that Embiid finished. There is a little bit of chemistry in that 2-man game, and that's something that I did not expect whatsoever. There's just a little bit of like feel for the game that he possesses that I never really saw from him before, which is really nice to see. He rocks, man. He just leaves it all out there. The blocks are cool. The expressions that he play with, how he goes about it. I'm all in on the Kelly Oubre experience, and it's good to see him kind of sticking in the starting lineup. Obviously, we'll see when this team is fully constructed with no Maxey or Lowry, and I think he probably reduces to a bench role. But this is a guy that's going to matter in the playoffs. You can argue he's the third best player on this team, and the talent's absolutely there, and it feels like things are just clicking for how to play basketball right now.
He's like the anti-Tobias Harris. Whereas Tobias is excellent in the first half. Kelly Oubre is excellent in the second. Kelly Oubre had 8 points on 4 of 8 shooting in the third quarter in this one. Mitch, any thoughts on Oubre?
Just re-sign him. That's all I got to say. Just re-sign him next year. He's the third option for the entire this year. So that's it.
Yeah, man. Oubre is fun to watch when he's going downhill with his left hand, man. He's athletic, man. I agree, man. I hope they re-sign him and figure out some sort of reasonable contract. By the way, Mo Bamba blows. Facts. No doubt about that. Rocco needed for D and rebounding. Don't need him stroking threes. We're going to need his defense. That is absolutely a fact. And he is the closer. I've just been so impressed with his playmaking. Not in a million lives did I expect him to be this good over the last month when it comes to just like you said, Sean, chemistry with Embiid and passing the rock when he needs to, cutting to. We already know he's excellent at cutting to the basket, but I think he's flashed a little more upside with that playmaking ability than I expected. There is NFW. He has a bone bruise. He may have nurse hates my gut sinus. Oubre made mincemeat of Jimmy Butthead in the last Heat game.
That muscle over the top was awesome.
That was great.
I'm going to be I know we're looking ahead, but I will low-key miss there. I don't know if the Sixers will be able to afford Kelly Oubre with all the moves they're going to make this offseason, but I'll low-key miss the times when Oubre finishes in traffic and does the flex after every single bucket. It's amazing. I just love it.
I'm not closing the door that he's not coming back. That I still think that there's a significant amount of the NBA that's scared of Kelly Oubre to give him significant money, and there's evidence for why that should be the case as well. But I love it. It wouldn't surprise me. If we're talking 18 mil a year, sign me up. I'm fine with that.
Yeah. He's definitely an amazing fit with Embiid. We have seen that. Let's roll on to our grades for tonight.
Don't you hear it? Sweetness and light for my restless mind. Please give me a way to escape this world gone astray. You could give me a little peace of mind in these troubled times.
All right. Grades A to F for tonight, Sean. What are you doing?
Yeah, straight B for me tonight. That the bottom line is a win is a win. They kept going, added another one to the standings. Didn't think it was an overly pretty game, but there were things to still build off, so it's still a net positive for me. They let the Pistons hang around a little longer than I would have liked to be the case, but once again, this is about playing Joel Embiid into shape, giving these guys some time. So overall, I think all goals were accomplished, and to me, I'll lock it in as a B.
Mitch?
I would have to go with the B as well. There should have been times where we blown them out of the water, but the Pistons just crawl back in. The Sixers can't get an easy win, can't just blow them out and just go into the next game. They always got to make it competitive, always got to go down to the wire at some point. I'm going with the B here. No Kate Cunningham.
B's good too. And just speaking on the Embiid stuff, stop diving on the court. What business do you have just diving and risking potential injury and just completely throwing the season out the window. What is he doing, man? That's just nonsense. That's the part that irks me a little bit. Barry says he might stay. He likes Philly about Kelly Oubre. Apparently, we are in double overtime between the Heat and the Hawks. Steven says 3 for 45 is as high as I go for Kelly Oubre. Todd says I'm scared of Tobias's performance come playoff time. All right.
We are.
By the way, it was DeJounte Murray missing a step back 3 at the buzzer, which could have put the game away. So they had the double overtime. I got a little tape delay on my phone that I have it pulled up, but we're more ball going on there.
All right. Let's get into our final topic. And that is like, where does this go from here? Obviously, we're looking for the Orlando Magic to lose 3 of their next 4. We're looking for the Pacers to lose 2 of their next 2. That matchup against the Magic and Sixers on Friday is everything, right, Sean?
Yeah, and Magic scored is currently 103.95 Rockets with 6:44 remaining in the fourth. So they have kind of opened the door a little bit to win that one, but still not in a great spot. So that's going to be one to monitor for the rest of the night. Every game matters from here on out. And the other thing to note is look at the top of we're talking so much about our race down at the play-in. All these teams at the top have something to play for too, with the Bucks, with the Magic, and that's important when like these teams are playing each other. So I think that's important to keep in mind as well. Sixers got to worry about their own business and let the chips fall around them, but I'm not counting out the 6th seed right now.
What about you, Mitch?
Yeah, I'm not counting him out either. You got to look at the Knicks as well. Even though they just lost Julius Randle, he's out for the rest of the year. That's still a big blow. Even though they do have Brunson and the Nova guys, they're a team you got to keep an eye out for. There still is with the Knicks.
Always good to see the Celtics get smoked.
Yeah, and you still have Springer.
Has really nothing to do with the Sixers, but I like it. So
You still have Springer on the intro.
I know I can't take it out. I don't have the heart.
You still have Korkmaz.
How about Royal Ivy being on the Detroit Pistons?
Wow.
That,
and Buddy Boeheim, however you say it, Boeheim, whatever.
Boeheim, yeah.
Yeah, I loved him in Syracuse. He was fun. I can't believe he's in the NBA.
All right, let's wrap it up. Mitch, final thoughts on the game, plugs, time's yours.
They got a win. Now they have Orlando on Friday. They got Brooklyn Nets on Sunday. 2 must-win games. And, yeah, you can find me on Twitter at Mitch Coxey, YouTube, Mitch Coxey, Hardcore Sports Network, and that's about it. Fly Like an Eagle episode this Thursday at 7:15 on Edge of Philly Sports.
And now we have our display names showing. We're back.
I was waiting for that.
Sean, final thoughts, plugs.
Yeah, keep taking care of business. 2 more to go, and we'll see where this postseason lies. But you guys can follow me on Twitter at Sean_Bernard1. Check out, went over to Rivers Casino for a cool little food festival today, so you can check that out on social media on Pixel Media. Yeah, there's some cool stuff going on there. Met some cool people and got some more content set to come out on that tomorrow. So make sure to tap into that as well, and everything we got going on at Fox Sports The Gambler as well.
Are we going to get some like videos of you reviewing food and stuff?
So I did one of those hot wings things, the hot ones sauces, which was rough. I was there with for Foods Galore, kind of highlighting everything that they had going on. They're kind of a distributor out of Philly, so all the restaurants that they sell to and stuff like that. So took a bunch of social media stuff and took quite a few samples myself. So you can check in on all that.
So funny story, real quick. Hot Ones is one of my favorite like shows. Period. There is period. I love that show, and I have one of my friends had a Da Bombs hot sauce at work, and we had a really close friend at work. It was his last day, and we all did a real tiny shot of Da Bomb together.
Oh
and
God,
it was horrible. It was hard, like
it's tough. Yeah, it's tough.
Really cool. Make sure you follow Sean and Mitch on X at Mitch Kofsky, at Sean_Bernard1. We'll be back on Friday. Huge game coming up against the Orlando Magic to avoid that play-in tournament. He is Mitch. He is Sean. I'm Dives. We'll catch you on the next one. Stay awesome, everyone.